Hello and welcome to day 17 of Adventures in Tarot Casting for the month of October 2025 or whenever you are seeing this video. Today we are working with the Pumpkin Night casting sticker. This is the card, the positions, the suggestions, and as always I have drawn in my own sketchbook on the opposing page the positions with that, and then a couple like little quips, so how have my past actions, efforts contributed to this transformation. Pumpkin Night is obviously a Halloween or fall themed sticker. This is one of the revisited ones. I wanted to show you the difference. So here is the original, and the picture is the same, but on here you can see all of the spread placements. It almost looks like extra spider web. And this was before I started doing the intentional placements. So this was just basically show up and use whatever tools you have and just play. Whereas if you've been following along, you know that I have changed a lot of them into having just intentional spread placements. So we have 3 large cards. We have one here, and one here, and then we have some Lenormand tiles that go up the side. And basically this is inspired by the lore of jack-o'-lanterns and Stingy Jack, who tricked the devil one too many times, and that upon his death he was cursed to wander the earth. Ultimately, carved pumpkins were put out on doorsteps to ward off evil spirits. Pumpkins have evolved through the times to become a symbol of autumn, harvest, abundance, transformation. And this spread now helps us to see the culmination of our past dreams and efforts and how they contribute to transformation, and kind of like if there's a trick or treat going on. So to journey with this board today, I have picked the Horror Tarot, which is kind of a Halloween themed deck. It feels very vampire to me, which I really like. And then Seasons of the Witch, because we are in the season of the witch, and then my Lenormand tiles. I think I need to do another, like a fall themed Lenormand tile. Maybe that'll be one of my next projects. We'll see. Okay, let's just get to it, shall we? Show you how I use this board now. And I've done it a couple times. I've read with this, and it definitely gives much better readings. Okay, let me just... I edged my deck in red. So the jack-o'-lantern, that's this one, the carved pumpkin on the page. This is facing what is. This energy protects and casts a glow onto the current situation. Trying to shuffle on camera is hard. I'm gonna bring it back to the little space that's closer to me. Okay. So this is facing what is, and it's this energy protecting and casting a glow onto our current situation. And what do we have there? We have the King of Swords. Look at that, and throw that in there. And so when I see that, I think about, just being in your mind, being the master of your thoughts, facing and protecting and casting this, knowing that this is probably about some thoughts, or maybe some thoughts that led to actions. That is what the whole reading's about. This is like how they have contributed to our transformation, right? So when we bring in the oracle part of the sticker, it's almost like if you don't have a question, you can bring in the spread placements and what that is. And it's the way our thoughts and the way that we maybe have manipulated strategies or whatever to lead to this transformation. So then the pumpkin patch, this is down here, these 3 here. These are new vessels of potential signaling what has grown and is maturing. These are opportunities ripe for the picking, the fruits of our labor, right? So maybe that's saying, okay, well, I've put these plans into place and now they're starting to come to fruition. And if transformation is part of that, then this is the efforts that we've done. And being the King of Swords, we know that we're the one in charge. Like, the swords are here in front of this figure, but the figure is like, hey, I'm calling the shots here, right? And these could be some of the outcomes from those shots. And we have death, right? Is that death or is that justice? Sorry, it's justice. So justice is saying, okay, maybe we're calling the shots here because we're in the strategies bringing us home, and justice is showing us that this is all because we're trying to find that balance. We're seeking justice. That's the focal. That's the reason that we need to be within our thoughts, is because we are seeking this retribution or this justice, depending on where it is your mind goes, right? And so then we have, I'm going to use an oracle card up here, and this is the season of the witch, and this is the moon. This is reflecting, illuminating, casting shadows, tapping into ancestral energy from beyond the veil. And then I have in here, like, the spider asks, because there's a little spider up here with the web. The spider asks, what have you caught in your web? So maybe our actions have led to this justice, and we're trying to see what some of the outcomes have come from. And the moon is spotlighting that. Casting that warm glow on a crisp fall night. And we have transformation. I love when tarot likes to get literal like that. So it says, like 1,000 storms held in hand, soft against the winds, there's change arising from deep within. And whenever that happens, whenever change and transformation is literally at our doorstep, the pumpkins are helping to light that way. And we have to maybe reevaluate some of our thoughts, reevaluate our own part in this justice, what we have done to lead to maybe the uneven scales, or what our actions have been for others. So many people are saying, why won't someone do something? Maybe we're the someone who has to do something. Nobody wants to, we're so quick to point out problems, but nobody wants to step up. And so in order to step up and know that, these are the opportunities that are ripe for the picking, is that anybody at any time can be this harbinger of change, as long as they're willing to be justice, become justice. And justice has their swords, so if you look at them next to each other, it's kind of like, this is a blind one, there's some scales and the swords are down, but being in the thoughts of the King of Swords is going, okay, well, now we need to know when we need to raise that, right? So then we bring in the Lenormand, or Lenormand, or however you want to say it. To me, it depends on the day in the morning. And this is our growth. This is like part of these branches that are reaching up towards this moon. This gives us advice or action, if it's a trick or if it's a treat, how best to transform and to reach our dreams, right? And I have 3 in my hand here. And we've got ship, birds, and fish. And right away, I see that this is like coming from abroad, right? Like maybe the justice that we're seeking, or maybe the strategy to aid into the transformation that's going to bring about that external balance is coming from abroad, is coming from further away than we thought. And the birds are saying, okay, there could be some anxiety about it. There's chatter about it coming from abroad. The fish is letting us know that there's so many on our side. We are abundant. We are successful in this, like as long as we come together, no matter where we are from our walks of life, or whatever the current situation is. Because of course this is a demo, take with it. If it resonates with you, it resonates with you. But just know that it's coming. It's coming from we're vast. I always think about like with the ship and the birds, it's kind of like, I know this isn't how you're supposed to read Lenormand, but like birds, when you see birds and you're on a ship out in the ocean, it means land is nearby, and then we also have the fish. So it's kind of like branching all aspects of the sea and the air, and then the ship allows us to merge between those worlds, right? And so we have an air card here and an air card here, and these are both strategy, right? This is making the strategy, maybe manipulating, speaking the orders into action, and justice is showing up to say, okay, it's time to enact our justice. It's going to come together. We have to take our anxieties and talk more about it, but know that we're all on these same rising tides and we're abundant, and that's going to lead to the transformation. At this point, when it starts to get too much, I usually think, okay, the reading's probably over, which is fine. If you need a clarifier, you could throw something in the middle here. You could put something up here on the other parts of the sticker. It's your practice, whatever you want to do. But this is when I start to babble, so this is when I say, okay, I'm done. I'm done with the reading. Let's see what we have for tomorrow. And if you've used this sticker, if you've used the pumpkin night, I would love to know how you do with it, and if it has given you some insights, or if you just really like the spooky theme, whatever, just let me know. I really like it. It's given me some pretty poignant readings. The first one I did with this new spread called me out, which I thought was wonderful, and also what the whole point is, to make me think deeper. Our little stack here is getting thinner and harder to split. Okay. I'm going to have to. So we have projections, and tomorrow we will see what we are projecting onto the movie of our lives with this spread. This is a fun one. I'm excited to talk about this one, but we will talk about that one tomorrow on day 18. So again, thank you for being here, being part of this creative world. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let your friends know about it, and, just keep the conversation going. Find me in all the places. I'm on Patreon, Instagram, and Facebook. I do have a Pinterest. I'm on Patreon and Instagram most. I am rarely active on Pinterest, even though I have one. And on Facebook, I'm rarely active there too. So anyway, thank you for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.